Hello viewers, this is Jared from J-Rob Production Studios and welcome back to another video. Now today I want to take a look at some of the rarest sets in my collection. We've taken a look at a few rare sets in LEGO Star Wars history and a few rare minifigures, but we've never just looked at the actual sets themselves and what all I have for that. Now if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and like and subscribe and be sure to turn your notification bell on so you don't miss a video, so I'd greatly appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get started. Now I would like to specify that these sets will not be appearing in particular order, and it doesn't really necessarily go based on the price of the set. I have plenty of expensive sets. It doesn't necessarily make them rare. So we're just gonna talk about some of the overall rare sets and not necessarily the most valuable ones. And for the first set here, I chose the Jango Fett Slave 1. Now this is a set that is, first of all, expensive, yes, but it's one that LEGO has only done once, and that is in the year 2002. Now I believe it retailed for about $50, but now it will cost right around $200, and a large portion of that is the minifigures. In particular, the Jango Fett goes for about $100 on his own, but the set itself is pretty decent. I think for its time, the design is all right, but there's a lot of function in it too that makes it desirable for not just kids, but collectors as well. And I think it looks all right. I think it looks fine. It's one that I'd love to see LEGO do again, but yeah, I think it's a great set. I think it's definitely one of the more rare ones, and one that most people don't have in their collection. Most of the time they have the Boba Fett, but not really the Jango Fett Slave one, so one I'm excited to have. Actually, a good buddy of mine gave this one to me. And now for the next set, I choose the Tantive as one of the rarest sets I have. Now this is one I have not had for too long, and they actually are just retiring the newer version, which I do have, but in terms of rarity, this is definitely more rare than the new one. I could show the new one, but this one in particular, it's 11, almost 12 years old now, and that has something to do with it. And especially the minifigures in it aren't particularly rare either, except for the Captain Antilles. But the set itself is great. It's really, there's not a lot that makes it better than any of the other ones or iterations that LEGO has released. It's pretty clumsy, it's clunky in a lot of ways, the proportions aren't exactly accurate, but it was $150. I believe it was actually a store exclusive too, and it was a 10-year anniversary set, so all that kind of added together, and just the sheer age of this and the size of it makes it a little bit more rare. A lot of people don't have this one, or if they do, they have the newer iteration of it. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite original trilogy sets, and it's probably my all-time favorite starship from Star Wars, so definitely like this one, and it's definitely one of the rare ones in my collection. And going back to the old episode 2, the 2002 sets, this actually came out in 2003, we have set number 4482. This is the ATTE. This is the first ATTE they ever made. Now this one probably isn't worth as much as the newer ATTEs. Those ones go for just ridiculous amounts of money. But this is one that I just remember as a kid looking back on and just like really wanting, looking in the old LEGO Star Wars visual dictionary. I saw this set and I had to have it, so it took 10 years when I was older to finally be able to buy this in like 2015 or 2016 or whatever, but here it is, and it's one of the few Clone Wars, or should I say Clone Era sets, that comes with 4 clone troopers of the same type. I don't think there's any other sets that really do that other than the gunship, which we'll take a look at in a minute, and it really just like, it gives you the right figures to fill the set with it. You know, you have some functionality with it. You get like the speeder in the back, and you have like your carrier for the troops themselves. But like just getting those 4 clone troopers is what makes this set unique. And it's one of the only 2 sets they came in, so the figures within themselves makes this one rare. But yeah, all around, I really like this thing. It's one of my favorite Star Wars vehicles. It's probably my favorite like walker itself. And yeah, not many people have the 2003 version. A lot of people have the newer ones, and even those ones are expensive. But having one that's 18 years old now is definitely cool. And just especially, like I said, those clones are the ones that really make this set what it is. All right, and up next is arguably the oldest LEGO Star Wars set of all time. This came out in 1999, and I say arguably because the set number is not the first set from Star Wars ever, but it is the first one that actually released. This one was available for purchase before the old set with Qui-Gon and Darth Maul. So this, I would argue, is the oldest LEGO Star Wars set, and it's not worth a ton just because it's a really small X-Wing. This is set number 7140. But yeah, I can imagine this excited a lot of Star Wars fans when it came out, getting an iconic ship, and obviously by today's standards, it's honestly kind of crap. I mean, like, the only thing on it is the wings fold, and even that design is just clunky and not too great at all. But you know, it's just the nostalgia of having it, and like the the classic feel to it that really makes it worth what it is, you know, and I think it came out at about $20 and it's worth only about $50 now, but the minifigures aren't anything special. You get the Luke and you get the Biggs Darklighter with the R2-D2 as well, of course the old style R2 there, but not really anything much to this set, but it's just one people don't have, you know. They've made so many X-Wings, not a whole lot of people just have the first X-Wing, and ironically this is the only X-Wing I have, which makes it that much funnier that the only one I have happens to be the worst one LEGO's made, at least that's play scale, should I say. And then, yeah, it's a cool set in my opinion. It's not great, but it's definitely a rare one. Not worth a ton, but just one not a whole lot of people have. All right, and for the last kind of bigger set here, again, we're going back to 2002, the Episode 2 set. And this is the first gunship ever made, so I just have a lot of older sets, and that's really what makes them rare. Now this one used to be worth only around $100, even just a few years ago. This one is worth a lot of money now. I mean, it'll run you a good $200, $250 to get this thing used, and new runs about $500 to $600. But this is a cool set. Again, one of the ones that comes with all 4 of the original Episode 2 clone troopers with the cutout visor. It also comes with a couple other cool figures. You get the Droideka in there, and then you get the 2 of the metallic battle droids, the B2 Super Battle Droids. That was the only set they came with. And then the most expensive and valuable minifigure with it is the Jedi Bob, which only came in that set. And rumor on the street is a lot of people are wanting to see that in the new UCS gunship coming out, but we will see if that ever comes to fruition. But yeah, this set is really cool. There's not, again, the play features are kind of outdated on them. That's not really what I have it for. It's just the uniqueness of having the set, you know. I don't really care that the doors don't cover the entire thing, or that there's no stud shooters or the spring-loaded shooters you'd see on new sets. I think it looks good, and that's what I care about. And yeah, a few outdated parts, a few molds LEGO hadn't made yet at this point. And a big issue for me is personally the cannons on the front fall off all the time, and like that gets really annoying to have to find those or like replace those all the time. But there's a lot of stickers on this set, and so getting a set with like the stickers intact is kind of rare. A lot of them just chip off when they're 18 or 19 years old like this. But yeah, really cool set, and one that I really like for the build as well, not just the minifigures, and one of my all-time favorite sets, probably my favorite gunship. All right, and the last set that I want to talk about here is one of the only 2 ARC 170s that LEGO has ever made, and it's really surprising they haven't made more of these. It's a pretty popular ship, and I felt like it had a pretty pivotal role in Episode 3, but you know, LEGO hasn't made one in 11 years now, so who knows if we'll ever get another. But yeah, this is one of my favorite like starships in Star Wars, so like getting this in LEGO obviously was a must for me. And like it came out in 2005, so it is a pretty old set. The functions on it are okay, you know, for its time. You can expand the wings even though you have to roll it out, you know. You don't just get to press a button like on the newer sets, but it works. It is what it is. It fits all 3 clone pilots that you get with the set, and it is rubber band loaded, so a lot of people who've had this since 2005 might not have that function. Some of the rubber bands may have eroded or whatever, but yeah, it's pretty flimsy. It falls apart pretty easily. I mean, I can imagine as a kid you would knock this thing around a lot, and it was relatively inexpensive at $40. So I feel like it's a set that's rare simply for the fact that a lot of people who did get this, it's just broken now. For a lot of them, it's flimsy. It doesn't really hold together super well. And yeah, it's not a set a ton of people bought back then. They didn't really care as much as opposed to the new X-Wings or whatever. So yeah, it's a pretty cool set, and one that I like, and one that definitely belongs with all the other original sets. So those are personally what I would consider to be my rare sets. I have a few others that I wish I could show, but I'm not going to spend my entire day showing my entire collection. So some of the bigger, more rare sets that I personally feel like are my rare ones. So go ahead and let me know what you think down below, what the rarest sets in your collections are, and what special sets that you have that maybe not a whole lot of other people do. So thank you all for viewing. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, guys, have a great day.